Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on First Outlook. I'm Kim Perez. We have a storm moving through the center of the country, and we have one coming into the west. And we'll talk about some of the rain and snow we're seeing here in California in just a second. But let's update you on this system here, where once again, within a week's time, we're going to see more wintry weather for parts of the southeast. We already have the snow here across the Ohio Valley, but it's here where right now it is just rain. It will be rain in Memphis and in Huntsville. Temperatures are warm enough that it will be rain here, but it's really a little bit farther to the east that we are a little bit concerned here, especially north of Atlanta and into the western Carolinas again, as temperatures currently into the 30s. It's like 34 degrees in Atlanta currently, and we have freezing rain advisories up for this area. The thinking is once this moisture gets over into Atlanta and that warmer layer aloft, but temperatures drop down to freezing because of the evaporative cooling that's taking effect, we're going to see it start out maybe with a little bit of freezing rain and then eventually change over to all rainfall. So traveling north on 75, this could be a problem here in Chattanooga for rush hour traffic or driving around the Atlanta metro area, especially north of town. Coming in on 575, you'll have to be very careful here later on this morning. And for the western Carolinas, also concerned about a little bit of freezing rain here. And what about the winter weather advisories? We're going to see accumulating snow again here for the southern Appalachians. So we're going to watch all this precipitation head east and cause maybe some messes for that traffic this morning. All right, the Ohio Valley, it's already here. Indianapolis, some snow. Fort Wayne, snow. Chicago, light snow. We're not going to see a tremendous amount of snow with this. Indianapolis traveling 74, maybe to Cincinnati. You'll deal with some of this snowfall this morning, but this should be moving out. And once the system does come by, then we're going to be concerned about lake enhanced snow kicking in. Here in Texas, what's all this? Well, these are dense fog advisories up for all of these counties, while here into San Francisco, it is a rain event here, but not too far outside of San Francisco in some of the mountains, about 1,500 feet, reports of snow in this area. And we'll see some of those showers eventually heading down here into LA. All right, that's a look around the country. Stay tuned. Your local on the 8s is next.
Thank you so much for watching us here at the Weather Channel. We'll give you some of the information that's taking place this morning. And we do have areas of snow. We also have areas of rain on the southern end where we're getting some of the warmer temperatures. You can see some of the snow that's pressing in across Michigan. Areas like Kalamazoo, Muskegon, picking up some snowfall this morning. We also are seeing some of that spreading across Ohio, Youngstown, Columbus, picking up some snow, and it'll continue to slide eastward, eventually working its way across New York and also into Pennsylvania. I kind of step out of the way so you can take a check on this. We're also finding some of the rain on the southern end. And now look at this, Tennessee picking up some rain, including areas like Nashville, but north of there in Kentucky, areas like Lexington, we've had snow this morning, and we will continue to monitor this line for rain and snow. It'll gradually work its way northward as the system works eastward during the day, so that's something we'll follow. In terms of what's happening in the south, we are finding areas like Huntsville already picking up some rainfall. Again, Huntsville is one of these areas that's been in a significant drought, so any rainfall we get in this area has been very beneficial. We've been getting some rain and snow recently, so this has helped. We'll also see more of this pressing into Atlanta, although this will be in the afternoon, probably fairly light when it gets into the Atlanta area. As I mentioned, Nashville's picking up some of the rain this morning. We also are finding some across northern Mississippi. Mississippi is another one of these states where we've been looking at deficits running anywhere from a foot up to a foot and a half in some cases, even a couple places looking at deficits beyond that. And this, of course, was for 2007. We are starting a fresh year here, and hopefully we can start out with more systems like this coming through. Tupelo right now, we have that light rain. The temperature is 37. Light rain in Memphis. That's a very cold rain this morning. This is not going to be a pleasant morning to be traveling through some of these areas or stepping outside or waiting outside for a bus stop. Light rain also in Huntsville, and we have some of that light rain, as I mentioned, in the Nashville area. That's going to slow it down in terms of traffic for some of you. Traveling northward, that's where we see more of the snow coming in across Kentucky. We'll continue to see that this will all slide eastward as we go through the day, and eventually you'll see some of that snow working to places like Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, some snow. Although it looks like New York and Boston, it'll be rain for you, but the interior sections, that's where we'll see some of the snow. We do have winter weather advisories in effect impact and also some freezing rain advisories. In fact, just north of the Atlanta area, that's a concern for us because we could be looking at some freezing rain. Now, it looks like right in the city of Atlanta, probably okay. So hopefully traveling on, say, 285, you'll be okay. But traveling north on 75 or an 85, that's where you may find a few problems in and around this area, although usually the interstates do pretty well under these conditions. Hopefully the road crews will be out there and taking care of everything for us. Light snow in and around Lexington, as I mentioned. Light snow, too, we've been seeing that around Cincinnati, continuing to travel eastward across Ohio. Columbus, kids are out there probably tossing around a few snowballs today. We're looking at snow advisories too. Now, some of these areas are actually seeing improving conditions coming in already. We'll continue to find everything sliding east. Grand Rapids and some of these areas like Kalamazoo, we've been picking up some significant snowfall this morning. Travel on 80 could be some slowdowns because of this. And in and around Detroit, we have more of this snow pushing into this area. Not going to be fun for some of you traveling around this area. And after some of you, of course, had a 3-day weekend, this feels like a Monday, although it's really Tuesday. Chicago also getting some snow. Yesterday, you had some travel problems in and around the Chicago area. May see more of this, although Chicago, at least you're going to be ending sooner rather than later. Some of these other places will be hanging on to some concerns with the snow as we go through the morning, right on into the afternoon too for some. We do have winter storm warnings, heavy snow warnings out across parts of Michigan. We are finding too as we travel westward that this is another spot where we are looking at some areas of rainfall. Snow, of course, in some of the highest elevations, but we've had a lot of rain coming in here in and around central California. Northern California picked up some of this rain yesterday. And what's happening here is we have this flow coming from the ocean onshore, and that's bringing some of the rainy areas. Meanwhile, to the north, areas like Seattle and Portland, you get that offshore flow. You've got some beautiful weather. So I guess you could say that some of these areas like Sacramento and Fresno kind of getting the brunt of your nice weather, and they're picking up some of the rainfall. But this is an area that we can use some of the rainfall, so this won't be such a bad scenario for us as we continue to move through today. Again, some of the higher elevations picking up some of the snowfall. Travel on 5, we do have some bouts of heavy rain coming in and across that area. That could mean some slowdowns for some of you that are traveling in this area. If we could go ahead now and look at some of the other conditions that are out here with our regions map, I can show you some of the other conditions. Here we go into the northeast, and we find here that we do have this system working in across Ohio. This is the one that is dropping some of the snow across this area. It'll continue to slide eastward as we progress through the day. That's going to eventually bring some of this toward the coastal areas. Again, New York, Boston, probably rain. It'll be the interior sections where we pick up some of the snow. And of course, we'll pick up the most snow in some of those lake effect areas where you get some lake enhancement taking place. The upper Midwest, the big news here is it's cold out here. Look at some of these brutal temperatures. I know you've had a lot of this recently, so maybe you're getting used to it, but I don't know. 2 below is the temperature in Minneapolis, 7 below in Sioux Falls. Here we have that temperature at 7 below. Look at the difference though. Chicago 29, but Chicago, your temperatures will be coming down as we go through the week and some colder air comes in. Notice too, we're watching the winds out here, so that means it's going to feel colder than some of the actual temperatures. And we're generally seeing that things are settling down across the Midwest as everything slides eastward, making its way into the Great Lakes and also the Northeast. It'll settle things down, quiet things down for most of you in that region. And then across the south, here we go too with some temperatures that feel kind of winter-like. For Nashville, 36. You're finding Louisville, 34. And again, we're finding some of the rain pressing in across this area. So thanks for joining us this morning. We'll be back after this.